And I will give an opportunity for silent prayer or meditation. Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Shongwe. Honorable members, once more, let me take this opportunity and welcome our honorable members to this visual sitting, which is conducted through the Microsoft Teams platform and whereby members are in remote attendance. This visual sitting is conducted in terms of Rule 3A of our standing rules, referred to as rules for sittings of the House and meetings of committees by visual means. Honorable members must, however, note that our rules and orders are still applicable during the proceedings of this visual sitting, and we are therefore called upon to adhere to them. You are further requested to remain in attendance for the duration of the visual sitting unless a formal apology to leave the sitting has been duly tendered. The Secretary will ensure the provision of technical support throughout the sitting. Honorable members, all microphones must be muted and the video must be turned off when a member is not speaking. When a member intends to speak, please click the icon to raise your hand. Once you are recognized by the speaker, please unmute your microphone and turn on the video to introduce yourself and speak. Honorable members, kindly note that we have limitations for interpreting. Therefore, members are requested to speak in English for the duration of the sitting. We really apologize, and we will continue to improve the system to accommodate interpretation services. However, we have standby interpreters in case a member strongly needs interpreting services, which will unfortunately be conducted consecutively and could prolong the duration of the sitting. Honorable members, there is a formal motion in the name of Honorable F.V. Mlombo, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party. I now call upon the Chief Whip to formally table the motion. Honorable Mlombo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much. The motion goes as follows. I, Fana Vincent Mlombo, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, hereby table a notice of motion in terms of Rule 84, Sub-Rule 1B of the Rules and Orders of the Legislature, that at the virtual sitting of Friday, the 3rd of July 2020, I shall move that the House, number 1, notes that the committee report on the Mpumalanga Appropriation Bill, Bill 2 of 2020, shall be tabled during the virtual sitting by the Portfolio Committee on Premier's Office, Finance, Economic Development and Tourism for consideration by this August House. Further note that Rule 190, Sub-Rule 6 of the rules states that the report of the committee must be circulated to all members at least 2 working days before the debate. Further note that Rule 192, Sub-Rule 2 of the rules states that the Speaker must allow for the committee's report to be debated in the legislature by some members from the relevant portfolio committee in accordance with the Speaker's list. I therefore, Honourable Speaker, move that the House adopts a resolution in terms of Rule 4, Sub-Rule 1, to suspend the provision of Rule 190, Sub-Rule 6, and Rule 192, Sub-Rule 1, A, that the time period of 2 working days for the circulation of the committee report not be applicable in the said report, and B, that the report of the above-mentioned portfolio committee not be debated in today's sitting. Honourable Speaker, I so move, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion as tabled by the Chief Whip. Agree to?
Agreed.
And so agreed. Thank you very much. Orders of the day. The Secretary shall read the first order of the day.
Order number 1, snap debate on gender-based violence.
I have speakers list in front of me. The first speaker is Honorable B.T. Shongwe from the ANC. 5 minutes. Honorable Shongwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to yourself, Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Premier Mtsweni-Tsipane, members of the Executive Council, and members of the Provincial Legislature, Chief Whip of the Majority Party, and leaders of the opposition parties in the legislature. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Speaker, as we are hard at work as a nation fighting the invisible coronavirus, we have seen another pandemic in the form of GBV spiking in our country, especially during the lockdown period, where there were many cases that were reported in the police. And we have seen a number of rape cases, murder, assault of our dear mothers, sisters, children, and daughters of our beautiful land. Honorable Speaker, you will agree with me that women has done it all. Women have marched, women have picketed, attended courts, delivered memorandums, shouted, cried in loud screams, but to no avail. As we speak, Honorable Speaker, here in Mpumalanga, there are many cases reported to SAPS. On children, rape cases reported were 140 till to the 23rd of June. Murder 4, assault 66, on adults, rape 150, murder 13, assault 430. This is totally unacceptable, Honorable Speaker, as women no longer feel safe in their own country. Women are scared of their brothers, uncles, fathers, their sons, and boyfriends, and ultimately their husbands. They live in fear, not knowing whether they are next. Men, please take off your knees on our necks. We want to breathe, and we deserve to breathe. COVID-19 and GBV is a double blow for women in South Africa. We call upon the justice system to appoint female judges to preside over cases of GBV and extreme harsh sentences to be imposed. No bail, no parole for the perpetrators. Recently, a 1-year-old, 8 months child was raped by her own stepfather. A 13-year-old girl was raped by a stepfather. Some men do no longer deserve to be called men, except for those men that are in the chamber right now. They are real men because they don't abuse their women, they don't abuse their wives. But others, Honorable Speaker, are no longer men. They are just wild animals eating their own children. We want to thank the Deputy President for being a patron of Boys Assembly, where young boys are guided and educated on behavioral change. We thank the Premier in the last financial year for leading marches on gender-based violence in the 3 regions. We hope we are still going to lead on gender-based violence as government, even through visuals. Women of South Africa, women of Mpumalanga, silence is no longer an option, but murder itself. Speak out, break the silence, prevent the spike of gender-based violence. We call upon all women of different cultures, race, and political parties to stand together and fight the scourge of gender-based violence. Today, Honorable Speaker, I wore black in mourning of those girls who have lost their lives in the process. I want to call upon all members of the legislature to wear black on Friday so that we can empathize with those women that have been killed by their husband. Honorable Speaker, we can't keep quiet as women of South Africa. If this thing goes on, Honorable Speaker, we will be tempted as women to call for castration. We shall come together as women and compile signatures where we are going to challenge the implementation of isongeso warepa nawe castration. Uyabulala nawe futhi yifa kanjalo.
Honorable member.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Shongwe. The next speaker is Honorable NP Mkabela from the EFF. 4 minutes. Honorable Mkabela.
Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Honorable Premier, members of this August House, and leader of the official opposition, Honorable MC Sedibe, I greet you. Honorable Speaker, our life begin to end the day we become silent about things that matters. Gender-based violence as the life of Black women matters the most. Honorable Speaker, as the EFF, we participate in this important debate on this critical issue of gender-based violence, not because we want to be part of the statistics of organizations that have participated in protesting against the scourge of gender-based violence, but as an advocate of our people, especially the girl child and our women. As a woman, I'm standing here shaking because I don't know whether after delivering my speech, I'll be the next one to be raped, killed, or brutally beaten by a man who continues to walk, roaming the streets. Honorable Speaker, there is no need for us to come and present the statistics of gender-based violence since it happens year in and year out, and nothing happens to the perpetrators. Honorable Speaker, the legislature is seized with the responsibility to make laws that are going to protect those that are vulnerable in our society. However, I feel ashamed that one of this August House was assaulted by a senior member of the ANC who was later acquitted by the disciplinary committee of the ANC, which makes mockery of the effort to fight against gender-based violence. As the EFF, we want to also appeal to our men counterparts to stand next to us and say no to gender-based violence, and also repeat not in our name as they change their perspective of how they see us as nobodies. We are equal and we deserve the same treatment and benefits in our society. And if we cannot achieve such basics now under a female premier, I ask myself, will we ever win battles as women? And the answer is no. Honorable Speaker, as the EFF, we are worried about the lack of infrastructure to protect our women when they are victims, especially from their loved ones, as there are no shelters or places of safety for our women as victims. We are also concerned about the dangers exposed to the victims when going to the court, as most they go alone without protection, but you find the perpetrators are escorted by police, which in our view, protection is given to those that are dangerous, not to the victims. Honorable Speaker, enough is enough. We cannot continue to have endless summits or imbizos to discuss the numbers of children and women who are victims of gender-based violence. We demand action from the government. Instead, giving us rhetorics of Women's Month about your commitment, we want plans that have targets with deadlines of how you will ensure a safer Mpumalanga for our women. We are not asking for too much, but for the protection of children and women in our society as the vulnerable and easy targets to criminal activities. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Member, kindly be reminded that when you speak, would you please turn on your video so that you can be able to see who is speaking. Thank you very much. The next speaker. Kindly mute the Honorable Member who is just, there is a background that is not good for the sitting. Honorable members, honorable member, will you please turn off your microphone? Thank you. Honorable member, let me call the next speaker, Honorable M. Lakshmi Narain from the ANC, 3 minutes. Honorable Lakshmi Narain.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker and Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Premier, Honorable members of Mpumalanga Legislature, comrades and friends, ladies and gentlemen. Let me thank the ANC-led government for giving me this opportunity to take part in this important debate on gender-based violence. Honorable Speaker, I stand here today in a time where South Africa is not only faced with the pandemic of COVID-19, but also with the pandemic that women and violence against women. It is embarrassing to be standing as a woman in the 20th century talking about the abuse women are enduring. Honorable Speaker, the ANC Constitution articulates non-sexist policies that have indeed influenced the current constitution of a free and democratic South Africa. Accordingly, ANC Constitution and the country's constitution recognize women as equal citizens with equal rights and responsibilities. ANC has been at the forefront of women's struggles by putting forward a vision of a non-sexist society and institutionalizing gender equality, the introduction of important legislation that empowers women, the achievement by the ANC Women's League, and the ANC policies decision in 2010 on a 50-50 representation of women in its structures and at all levels in societies has caused an increase in the numbers of women in parliament and government. Let us look no further than in our own province, led by a strong, capable woman, Honorable Premier Ms. Rufilwe Tsipane Msweni. However, as a country, there remains a lot still to be done. While several accomplishments have been made, while several laws have been implemented, society's determination of what is expected from a woman still remains to be argued. While we speak about gender-based violence, we need to also acknowledge the abuse that men are also going through. Acknowledge that they are also in a situation that are faced by women. It is also, it all comes back to what society thinks men and women's roles are. It is not only men who are breadwinners, not only men who are capable of changing a tire in a motor vehicle, just like it is not only a woman's duty to be standing in the house cooking or cleaning. Today I stand as a strong woman who refuses to be abused in the hands of any man and who refuses to be a statistic. I call on all women to join hands together and fight for our rights. Let us set a good example for our daughters so that the next generation is strong and brave enough to voice their opinion. I end with the direction of Ma Winnie Madikizela Mandela. I quote, "To those who oppose us, we say, you strike the woman and you strike a rock." Honorable Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Lakshmi Narain. The next speaker is Honorable Tim J. Prover Morgan from DA at 2 minutes. Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to the House. Am I clear, Honorable Speaker?
Yes,
Can
you are
hear
clear
me?
now. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Honorable Speaker, 2018-2019 crime stats for the country reveal that 114 women are raped every day. That is 114 women who are psychologically broken, 114 women who had their rights violated, and 114 women who were put into a place of darkness every single day. Gender-based violence is defined as violence that is directed against an individual based on his or her gender identity. In Mpumalanga, gender-based violence is a serious issue which has been on the increase. As in 2018-2019 financial year, sexual offences increased by 8.5%. The plight of women in our province is a cause for serious concern, as many women are beaten, raped or murdered by their male counterparts. The nationwide lockdown is a time when all South Africans were most vulnerable. Yet this was a time in which the horrendous crimes against women increased at a time in which they needed to be protected. We live in a time where as women, we are told not to go to certain place, not to wear certain clothes, not to behave in a certain manner, but never are the attackers told not to perform such acts, to respect, care, and protect our women. Given that in this lockdown, we are being attacked in our place of safety, our homes. What advice is there for the women of this province? On the 5th of June, a 29-year-old female, Ms. Luyanda Nkambule, was murdered in a home in Secunda for a laptop and phones. In the week of 20 June, 3 girls, including 2-year-old, were raped in our province. On the 23rd of June, a father was arrested for raping his 20-month-old daughter. The above mentioned is horrendous. Honorable Speaker, yearly we stand here and debate the plight of women in our province and in our country. But I believe that what happens after this debate is of utmost importance. Today we are present and most honorable members will give grand speeches about the gender-based violence. But what of these speeches when government fails to implement steps to curb the spread of the violence against women? Today, I stand before you as a member of the Democratic Alliance, and I want to challenge this House to drop political bias in our fight against gender-based violence and ensure that processes relating to reporting of gender-based violence be streamlined. Ensure that failure to assist domestic violence or victim of gender-based attack becomes a crime. Talks of consent, rape, and domestic abuse is conducted in schools through the life orientation curriculum. Harsh penalties for those convicted of such acts. It is only through this can we deter such acts. We call for the appointment of a child commissioner in the province. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Member, this is the formal sitting. Let us respect it as we are speaking, and also avoid that background that is not good for this House. Thank you very much. Honorable, thank you, Honorable Rovemo again. Honorable W.L. Weber, VF plus 1 minute.
Honorable Speaker, our justice system is not effective in curbing the scourge of gender-based violence. Because of all the cases that have been reported, less than 4% of them result in sentences. The solution lies in the upbringing of our children. Siboyikhuza izingane zethu, siboyifundisa kahle. We must teach our children proper behavior. We must teach our children respect. In our schooling system, the young people must be taught proper behavior, because I am of the opinion that our schooling system is not effective in teaching our young people proper behavior, teach our young people proper respect. I think that there is room for improvement there, because we can't allow our schooling system to produce eventually educated savages. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Webb. The next speaker is Honorable J.L. Tabete from the ANC, 4 minutes. Honorable Tabete.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable members of the Provincial Legislature, our executive councils, all head of departments. Honorable Speaker, violence against women is widespread. It is critical that we must begin understanding the drivers of the gender-based violence and identify policy gaps and whether this has significant shift in mitigating such a scourge. There is obviously quite excessively amount of circumstances that can lead to gender-based violence, such as alcohol abuse, coercive sex or rape, and multisexual partners. However, this cannot be justified as a scapegoat to commit such horrendous acts, especially against women. Victims of gender-based violence include men, women, and children. However, there is a general consensus that women and children are disproportionately affected and hence bear the greater burden of such assault. It is at most important that as society we need to navigate the socialization process and begin to understand the internalization process from childhood. Families and communities at large need to focus on the long-term implication in the upbringing of children. Remember, Honorable Speaker, whatever we are doing as parents in front of our children, somewhere, somehow, is going to haunt us as parents. That's why some of the children are grown up on a very arrogant situation. Later in life, the violence against women begins to play a key role in maintaining women's subordinate position and the control over women by men. Denial and the fear of being ostracized often prevent women from reaching out for help. Honorable Speaker, I find it is necessary to indicate to this House that as leaders of society, we need to begin a feminist discourse of how can this view be changed in respective of our political differences. We must also begin to assess the extent in which women in general have become part of the mainstream in the socio-economic scheme of things, as this has the potential to discard the notion that men have an upper hand. It is key that I must categorically state this is not about competition, but about complementing each other. It then suggests that I must challenge each member, especially women, to begin asking themselves that when we talk about women representation in the key decision-making position, what is it that are representing and who are they representing? The importance of this will accord opportunity to drive agenda of government from a women perspective. Honorable Speaker, we have noticed the gruesome murders on women in this country, and we must rally behind the justice system and ensure that justice is dispensed without fear or favor. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, J.K. Rowling once said, I quote, "We do not need magic to change the world. We carry all the power we need inside ourselves already. We have the power to imagine better." I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. That concludes the SNAP debate on gender-based violence. The Secretary shall read the second order of the day. Secretary.
Order number 2, consideration of a report on the Portfolio Committee on Premier's Office, Finance, Economic Development and Tourism on Mpumalanga Appropriation Bill, B2/2020.
Thank you. I now call upon the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Premier's Office, Finance, Economic Development and Tourism, Honorable M. Lakshmi Narain, to table the report on the Mpumalanga Appropriation Bill 2020. Honorable Lakshmi Narain. Oh, honorable members. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Honorable Lakshmi Narain.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the Portfolio Committee for Premier's Office of Economic Development, Finance and Tourism, I hereby rise to table the report for the Mpumalanga Appropriation Bill to this Honorable House.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, can I bring to your attention the procedure set out for voting during visual sitting? In terms of Rule A of our standing rules and orders, The following procedure will apply during the voting process. Where sittings of the House or meetings of committees are conducted by visual means, the members present at such sittings or meetings shall be entitled to cast their vote by clearly identifying themselves to the presiding officer and subsequently clearly and verbally expressing their vote. The presiding officer must ensure that all members present and voting are clearly identified and that all votes are clearly and verbally expressed. The secretary shall ensure that a system in place and maintained for the verification of votes cast by members. Sittings of the House and meetings of committees by visual means must be digitally recorded and recordings must be stored. I am going to call one by one for members present to either verbally indicate whether they are in favor, yes, or not in favor, no, of a particular vote. Honorable members, I have 24 members who have connected remotely. Therefore, we can continue with the voting process. In terms of Rule 192, Sub-Rule 5, I shall now go through the Mpumalanga Appropriation Bill 2020 vote by vote. Vote 1, Office of the Premier, that an amount of 359,647,000 rand be approved by the House. Honorable Member Shongwe Vusumuzi Robert, do you say yes or no?
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Member Shongwe Blessing Tandi, do you say yes or no? Honorable Shongwe? Tandi Shongwe? Do you say yes or no?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Matangu Nora. Yes or no?
Yebo, Honorable Speaker, nasi nesandla ngiphakamisile ngiyavuma.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I agree.
Honorable Mashiko Kilion Kudumo.
Uvile
Yes.
Speaker.
Agree. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Ngomane.
Ngiyaphakamisa ngiyavuma.
Honorable Ngomane Petra Simon, yes or no?
Yebo, Speaker, ngiyavuma.
Ngiyavuma man.
Kabalala Cynthia Kapile.
Yes. Agreed, ngiyavuma. It's a yes, Speaker.
Honorable
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Njali Ndona Lindiwe.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Msibimanda Jeffrey.
Ngiyavuma somlomo.
Honorable Mlobo Fana Vincent.
Ngiyavuma, Speaker, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Masilela Makosazana Christine, yes or no?
Yes, agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mkatwa Prince Vusumuzi, yes or no?
Yes, Speaker.
Yes. Honorable Kosana James Tim, yes or no?
Yes.
Honorable Tabete Jeanette Lizzie, yes or no?
Ngiyavuma somlomo.
Honorable Mashilo Speedy Katishi, yes or no? Honorable Mashilo. Could you please check Honorable Mashilo? I will come back. Honorable Lakshmi Narain Mohita, yes or no?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Yes. Honorable Hlophe Nompumelelo, evidence, yes or no?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Makaringe Tutani Million, yes or no?
Yes, Napumela, Speaker.
Honorable Bekitemba, okay. Honorable Sedibe Mikhail Conlan,
None of the above.
Egyptian.
Bishop Tim, yes or no?
No. It's none of the
Okay.
two.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Nomshato Gertrude, Nyembe Nomshato Gertrude, thank you. Honorable Mkabela Ntlako Precious,
Abstain, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sitole,
Supported. Yes, agree. Supported.
Honorable Grobla Posman,
Supported, Speaker.
thank you. Honorable Grovemo again, Trudy Maria Johanna,
Supported, Speaker.
Honorable Weber Wemer Ludov, Honorable Weber, Honorable Web, yes or no? Okay. Let me try Honorable Mashiro Speedy. Katishi again. Are you back, Honorable Mashiro? Mashilo? Okay, okay. Honorable Mashilo is now reconnecting. He logged in before, then also logged out. Maybe it's due to a network, but
Sheila, now I'm available. I'm voting.
okay. Yes or no?
I'm voting for yes.
Okay. No, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, man. Yes, man, Mashilo. You're always a yes, man.
No. I belong to ANC. You belong to EFF, Chief. Don't do that.
Honorable Weber,
I talk to conference.
let me come to you again. Honorable Weber.
I'm back, Honorable Speaker. As opposition party, my points of departures are different, and I would do it differently. Therefore, I vote no.
Okay. Okay. No, thank you very much, honorable members. Honorable members, we are recording. We're now moving to vote 2. Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature, that's an amount of 395,222,000 rand and be approved by the House. Honorable members, I will do as I did before in all the votes, so that we can be able to our counting, so that it can be correct. I will start with Honorable Vusmuzi, Shongwe Vusmuzi, Robert. Yes or no?
Yes, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Shongwe Blessing Tandy. Yes or no?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Matlagu Nora.
Yes, agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Mashiko Gideon Kudumo.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Ngomane Petros Simon.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Shabalala Cynthia Kapsile.
Speaker.
Honorable Jalinjali Leona Lindiwe.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Msibi Mandla Jeffrey.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Mlombo Fana Vincent.
Yes, Speaker. Ngiyavuma.
Honorable Masilela Makhosazana Christine.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mkhatshwa. Honorable Mkhatshwa, I can't hear you. I will come back to Honorable Mkhatshwa. Honorable Skosana James Jim.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Tabete Jeanette Lizzie.
Agreed, Speaker Nyavuma.
Honorable Mashilo Speedy Katishi.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Lachmi Narain Mohita.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sopen Upumelelo Evidence.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Makaringe Tutani Million.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sedibe Michael Colin. I can't hear Honorable Sedibe. Yes or no? I will come back to Honorable Sedibe. Honorable Nyembe Numshato Gertrude.
Yes, Speaker Nyavuma.
Okay, Honorable Mkabelo Ntsako Precious.
Yes, Honorable. Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mofu, okay, again. Honorable Sitole Riasecha. Am I pronouncing the word correct? Riasecha Jane.
Yes, Honorable Speaker. As long as you've got Sitole correct, that's fine. Yes, I agree.
Okay.
No,
Okay. Honorable Krobler Bosman.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Prove Moken Chudi Maria Joanna.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Weber Vener Ludo.
I would do it differently, therefore no.
Oh, your own budget, Honorable Weber. Okay, let me go back to Honorable Sedibe. Honorable Sedibe, Michael Colin.
Yes.
Thank you. And also go back to Honorable Mkhatshwa, Deputy Speaker, Honorable Mkhatshwa. Prince Kusimos. Yes or no? I think it's an issue of the network. Thank you very much. They are doing the counting.
Honorable Speaker, Speaker.
Yes, it's Honorable Mkhatshwa.
Yes.
Okay, are you voting yes or no?
Yes, I'm voting yes, Speaker. My data ran out.
Okay. Okay. No, thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Mkhatshwa. I think they will attend to that. Honorable Lubisi Pegitemba Maxwell, you have now connected. I know that you also have a challenge in terms of connection. Are you voting yes or no?
Yes. I'm voting yes, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. We are now moving to vote 3. Provincial Treasury, that an amount of 440,557,000 rand be approved by the House. I will also take the procedure as I did earlier on. Honorable Shonge Busumuzi, Robert, yes or no?
Speaker. Yes, Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Shonge Blessing Tandi, yes or no?
Yeah, yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mahlangu Nora.
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable
Agreed,
Mashigo
Madam.
Billion.
Yes, Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Ngomane Petros Simon.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Shabalala Cynthia Kasile.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Jali Leona Lindiwe.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Msibimanda Jeffrey.
Yes, Mlom.
Honorable Mlombo Fana Vincent.
Ngiyavuma.
Thank you. Honorable Masilela Mafasazana Christine.
Yes, I agree, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Mkhatshwa Prince Vusmuzi.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Skosana James Jim.
Yes, Speaker. Ngiyavuma.
Honorable Tabete Jeanette Lizzie.
Yes, Speaker. Ngiyavuma.
Honorable Mashilo Speedy Katishi.
Yes.
Honorable Lachimenarain Mohita. Yes or no? I will come back to Honorable Lachimenarain. Honorable. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Lachimenarain. Honorable Sope Nompumelelo evidence.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Makaringe Tutani Million.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Lubisi Pegitemba Maxwell.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Sedibe Michael Collen. I will come back to Honorable Sedibe. Honorable Nyembe Nomshato Gertrude.
Abstain.
Honorable Mkhabela.
Abstain.
Thank you. Honorable Sitole Researcher Jane.
Supported. Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Frobla Bosman.
Agreed.
Honorable Frobemo Trudy Maria Johanna.
Agreed.
Honorable Weber Venar Ludo.
Madam Speaker, I'm not cross with you, but I would do it differently, therefore no.
Thank you. They are counting. We are now moving to vote for. Okay, after that we come back to Honorable Sedibe Michael Collen. Siyandlula kusho ukuthi mhlambe nayo bene challenge. They will check him. We're now going back to vote for Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, that an amount of 568,337,000 rand be approved by the House.
Agreed.
Same procedure, Honorable Shongwe, we need to count that each member has voted. Honorable Shongwe Vusumuzi Robert?
Ngiyavuma somlo.
Yes or no? Yes. Honorable Shongwe Blessing Tandi?
Already agreed, Honorable Speaker, yes.
Honorable Mahlangu Nora?
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mashiko Gideon Kuduma?
Yes.
Honorable Ngomane Petro Simon?
Yes.
Honorable Shabalala, Honorable Ngomane, we are in the House. Honorable Shabalala Cynthia Kapsile?
Yebo Speaker.
It's a yes, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Njalinjali Lindiwe?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Msibi Mandla Jeffrey? Yes or no?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. Yes,
Honorable Mlombo Fana Vincent?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Masilela Makosazana Christine?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mkatwa Prince Vusumuzi?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Skosana James Jim?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Tabete Jeanette Lizzie?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mashilo Spiridi Katishi?
Yes.
Honorable Lakshmi Narain Mohita?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sopelo Mpumelelo Evidence?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Makaringe Jutani Million? Honorable Lubisi Begitemba Maxwell?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sedive Mikhail Colin?
Abstain.
Honorable, yes. Honorable Nyembe Nomshato Gertrude?
No.
Honorable Mkabela Ntaho Precious?
Abstain.
Honorable Sitole Riaseta J?
Agreed, supported.
Honorable Flora Bosman? Honorable Kroba?
Supported. Yes, Yavuma.
Honorable Krobe Morgan, Trudy?
Supported, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Weber Wemer Ludov?
If I had to say, I would completely rearrange, therefore no.
Okay, thank you very much. We're now moving to vote 5. Department of Agriculture, Rural Development and Land Environmental Affairs. That's an amount of 1,266,621,000 rand be approved by the House. Honorable Shongwe Vusumuzi, Robert?
Ngiyavuma Speaker kakhulu.
Honorable Shongwe Tandi?
Agreed.
Honorable Mahlangu Nora?
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mashiko Gideon Kudumo?
Ngiyadumela Speaker.
Honorable Ngomane Petro Simon?
Ngiyavuma sambele emasimini.
Honorable Shabalala Cynthia Kapsile.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Jali Leonalidiwe.
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sidimanda Jeffrey.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mlombo Fana Vincent.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Masilela Makusazana Christine.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mkajwa Prince Bukundi.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Skosana James Jim.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, Pesgom Konomle.
Honorable Tabete Jeanette Lizzie.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
My food parcels now.
Honorable Mashilo Speedy Katishi.
Yes,
Now
Speaker.
I join
Honorable Lachimina Rain Mohita.
I'm George, we are qualifying that George are right.
Honorable members,
confidently saying stealing is okay.
honorable members, please, you are disturbing me because I must hear the member whether he or she is saying yes or no. Please, don't disturb me. Honorable Lakshmi Narain Mohita.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Shopen Nompumelelo, evidence.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Makaringe Tutani Million.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Lubisi Pegitemba Maxwell.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sedibe Mikhail Kolen.
I'm calling for the division.
Honorable Sedibe, what you are doing, it's what you are calling. That is voting, what you are doing. That is the division. That is why each member is voting individually so. Honorable Sedibe Mikhail Kolen, yes or no?
I said I'm abstaining. I said I'm abstaining.
Okay. You said you are calling. Thank you, Honorable Sedibe. Honorable Nyembe Nomshato Ketu.
My food parcels.
Honorable Nomshato.
Abstain.
Honorable Mkabela Nzako Precious.
Abstain.
Honorable Sitole Riasecha Jane.
Agreed.
Honorable Kroba Bosman.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable
You've
Problemo
got a
Gentry.
new partner in the house. DA agree with ANC. Helele.
Honorable Weber Bernard Ludo.
I'm myself a farmer, ngiyavuma kodwa ngivuma kancane.
Kuno yes or no, kunovuma lokungavumi Honorable Weber. Akukho lokuthi vuma kancane vuma kakhulu. Thank you.
When I raise this farmer. Hey, you raise this farmer. Do you agree or not?
Honorable Sedibe, please, let us respect the decorum of the House, please. Honorable members, we're now moving to Department Vote 6, Department of Economic Development and Tourism, that an amount of 1,353,068,000 rand be approved by the House. Same procedure. Honorable Shongwe Vusmuzi Robert, yes or no?
Ngiyavuma, Speaker.
Honorable Shongwe,
Mavuma zonke. Mavuma zonke.
Kahle wena lapho lenhloko lenkulu nama-overall labovu lapho.
Honorable Blessing Tandy, I will come back to you. Honorable Masangu Nora.
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mashiko Gideon Kudumo.
Agreed.
Honorable Ngomane Petros Simon.
Agreed, ma'am.
Honorable
Speaker.
Shabalala Peter Kapsile.
It's a yes, Speaker.
Okay. I'm not so sure, Honorable Shongo Blessing.
Give
Are you
me
back?
Speaker. Agreed.
Okay. Okay. Honorable Njali Leona Lindiwe.
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable, yes.
Hello,
Honorable,
Malindi, my friend. How are you, Malindi, my friend?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I agree.
Honorable Mlombo Father Vincent.
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Masilela Makosazana Christine.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mkajwa Prince Vismuzi.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Skosana James Jim.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I agree.
Honorable Tabete Kinezizi.
Yes, Honorable
Agreed.
Speaker Nyakuma.
Honorable Mashiro Speedy Katishi.
Yeah, agree, Speaker.
Ngivile mangidlula suke sengivile ivoice yakho. And I also see you go screen some. Honorable Lakshmi Narain Mohita.
Agree, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sopenopumelelo evidence.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Makaringe Tutani Million.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Lubisi Pegitemba Maxwell.
It's a yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sedile
Economic development and job creation is important. I agree.
Honorable Nyembe Nomshato
Yes.
Gertrude. Yes, below Honorable Sedile. Honorable Nyembe. Honorable Mkabela Ntako Precious.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Sitole Riasecha Jane.
Supported, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Frobla Bosman.
Supported, Speaker.
Honorable Frobem again, Trudy Maria Joanna.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Wemba Venar.
If I had to say, I would do it differently, therefore no.
Thank you, honorable members. We're now moving to vote 7, Department of Education. That an amount of 23,497,519,000 be approved by the House. Honorable Vusmuzi Shongwe Robert.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Shongwe Blessing Tandy. Honorable Shongwe Tandy, Blessing Tandy. I will come back to you. Honorable Matangu Nora.
Great Speaker.
Honorable Mashiko Kilion Pudumo.
Agreed, Madam.
Honorable Ngomane Petrosima.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Shabalala Cynthia Kapsile.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Jalinjali Leona Lindiwe.
Agreed.
Honorable Sibi Manja Jeffrey.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mlombo Fana Vincent.
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Masilela Makosazana Christine.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Mkajwa.
Honorable Speaker.
Agreed, Speaker.
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Ngiyabuzwa Honorable Shongwe Blessing and ngiyabuzwa Honorable Mkajwa Prince.
Agreed.
Yes, you must wait so that I can be able to call your name because we are recording. Ngiyakuzwa, Honorable Shongwe, and feared you, Honorable Mkajwa. I'm now moving to Honorable Skosana James Jim,
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Tabete Tinet Lizzie,
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Mashilo Speedy Katishi,
Agreed.
Honorable Lachmi Narain Mohita,
Agree, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Shopen Mpumelelo Evidence,
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Makaringe Tutani Million,
Yavuma, Speaker.
Honorable Lubisi Pegitemba Maxwell, Honorable Lubisi,
Disappeared.
Uyevakala. Honorable Lubisi Pegitemba Maxwell.
It's a yes,
Usashayit lazi
Speaker.
Castle Light.
Okay, Honorable
It's a yes,
Uyevimvile,
Speaker.
Nguvile Honorable
It's a
Sedibe
yes,
Michael Colin,
Ngiphi konje le Speaker? Department is great.
Education.
Not to speak ama-students lapho.
Education, Honorable Sedibe.
No, it's the yes, education is key. But
Okay,
children must not go back to school.
Nomshato Gertrude.
Abstain.
Honorable Mkabela Tsakho Precious.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Mofoke, Honorable Sitole Riasecha Day.
Supported, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Frobla Postman.
Supported, Speaker.
Honorable Frobla Morgan Trudy Maria Joanna.
Supported.
Honorable Weber Renal Ludolf.
I would do it differently, but education is so important, I say yes.
Okay, thank you very much. We're now moving to vote 8. Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport. That's an amount of 5,087,524,000 rand to be approved by the House. Honorable Shongwe.
Ngiyavuma, Speaker. Agreed, Speaker.
Blessing Tandy.
Agreed.
Honorable Matangu Nora.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Mashiko Gideon Kudumo.
Kakhulu, Speaker.
Honorable Ngomane Petros Simon.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Shabalala Cynthia Kapsile.
Yavuma, Speaker.
Honorable Jali Jali Leona Lindewe.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Msibimanda Jeffrey.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mlomofana Vincent.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Masilela Makosazana Christine.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mkajwa Prince Busmuzi.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Skosana James Jim.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Tabete Jeanette Lizzie.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Mashilo Speedy Katishi.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Lachmi Narain Mohita.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Shopen Mpumelelo Evidence.
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Makaringe Tutani Million.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Lubisi Pegitemba Maxwell. Honorable Lubisi. I will come back to Honorable Lubisi. Honorable Sedibe Michael Colin.
Which one is this one? Speak.
The Public Works, Roads and Transport.
Ungasamtsheli speaker. Speaker ungasamtsheli ungasamtsheli lo muntu usemsebenzini akalalele lo. Akalalelelwa nguwe lo muntu.
Honorable Sedibe, ngiyambona Honorable Lubisi Sikhona, I think it's a challenge of e-network, but I see him in my screen. Honorable, yes, Ngubile, Honorable Sedibe, you said you agree. Honorable Lubisi.
I said I abstain.
Oh, you said you abstain.
Abstain.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
that is recorded. It's recorded, Honorable Sedibe. Honorable Lubisi, Remember Maxwell? Yes or no? I think it's a challenge, yeah, network, because I see him on the screen. Okay, I will come back. Honorable Nyembe Nomshato Gertrude. Abstain. Honorable Mkabela Ntsako Precious.
Abstain.
Honorable Sitole Riasecha Jane.
Supported, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Krobla Postman.
Supported, Speaker.
Honorable Krobe Morgan, Trudy Maria Joanna.
Supported, Honorable Speaker Snam Kwatulunge.
Honorable Weber, Vener, Ludov.
I do not agree with the amount. If I had to say, I would triple the amount, therefore no.
Thank you, honorable members. Oh, I said I will come back to Honorable Lubisi. Honorable Lubisi, December Maxwell. Network. Okay, it's a network, but they will try and call him because he is appearing on the screen. Yes, Honorable Lubisi. Okay, no problem, honorable members. I will now move to Department of vote 9, Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison, that an amount of 1,514,057,000 rand be approved by the House. Honorable Shonga Busmuzi, Robert.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Shonga Blessing Tandy. Honorable Blessing Tandy, Shonga. Honorable Mashangu Nora, I'll come back.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Mashiko Gideon Kudumo.
Yes, Madam.
Honorable Ngomane Petros Simon.
Agreed.
Honorable Shabalala Cynthia Kapsile.
Agreed, Speaker.
I see. Okay. Honorable Tandy. Honorable Shongwe Blessing Tandy.
Agreed. Agreed.
Okay. Yes. I saw you on the screen. That is why I come back. Honorable Njali Leona Lindwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I vote yes, but can I be given my space that you don't mix me with Honorable Tandy because you might miscapture my vote? Thank you. Yes.
Okay, Honorable Njali, there is a challenge of network from members. So immediately that I see that honorable member on the screen, I will go back to her or him at that time because I might lose that member because we are voting. Not necessarily that I'm just confusing because I'm ticking here. So because of the issue of network, because I was told in the morning that today there is a challenge in terms of network. So that is why I will go back to members and come back so that I can make sure whether the member is voting yes or no. Thank you. Honorable Msibimanda Jeffrey.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Sorry?
I'm saying yes, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Mlombo Fana Vincent.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, ngiyavuma.
Honorable Masilela Makosazana Christine.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mkajwa Prince Vusmozi.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Skosana Jim.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I agree.
Honorable Tabete Jeanette Lizzie.
Ngiyavuma somno.
Honorable Mashilo Spidikatishi.
Yes, Speaker, I agree.
Honorable Lakshmi Narain Mohita.
Agree, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sopeno Mpumelelo Evidence.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Makaringe Tutani Million.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Lubisi Pegitemba Maxwell.
It's a yes, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Sedibe Mikhail Colin.
Which one is this, Speaker?
I know, no, Honorable Sedibe. Honorable
Bekele,
Sedibe.
bekele, Speaker, bekele, Ndula Speaker.
Yes or no?
Okay, I abstained there. But I wanted to know which one.
Honorable Sedibe.
I see PA.
Honorable Nyembe Nomshado Honorable Nyembe Mshato Ketrut Nomshato. I will come back. Honorable Mkabela, Sisango Precious.
Abstain.
Honorable Sitole Researcher Jane.
Supported, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Frobla Bosman.
Agreed.
Honorable Frobe Morgan Trudy Maria Joanna.
Supported, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Weber Venar Ludo.
This department is overpaying the security firms. I would cut the budget by 70%, therefore no.
Let me go back to Honorable Nyembe Nomshato Ketrut.
It's a no.
Thank you. We are now moving to vote 10, Department of Health, that an amount of 15,568,194,000 rand be approved by the House. Honorable Shongwe Vusmuzi Robert.
Agreed,
Yes,
Speaker.
Honorable Shongwe Blessing Tandy.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Mahlangu Nora.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Mashiko Gideon Pudumo.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Ngomane Petros Simon.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Shabalala Cynthia Kapsile.
It's a yes, Speaker.
Honorable Jalinjali Leona Lindiwe.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Msibimanda Jeffrey. Honorable Msibimanda Jeffrey. I will come back to you. Honorable Mlombo Fana Vincent.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Masilela Makosazana Christine.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mkacho Prince Vusmuzi.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Skosana James Jim.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, agreed.
Honorable Tabete, Jeanette
Yes,
Lizzie.
Honorable. Yes, Honorable Speaker, agreed.
Honorable Mashilo Speedy Katishi.
Yes.
Honorable Latinaren Mohita.
Agree, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sophie Mpumelelo, evidence. Let me go back to Honorable Msibi. Mandla Jeffrey. Okay, he's still having a challenge. Honorable Makaringe, 300 million.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Lubisi, September Maxwell.
It's a yes, Speaker.
Honorable Sedibe Kwalen, Mikhail Kwalen.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, health is important, but they must invest on the health infrastructure. We need more ventilators in the hospital for
Thank you.
COVID-19.
Honorable Nyembe Numshado Gertrude.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mkabela Tsako Precious.
Yes.
Honorable Sitole Riasecha J.
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Robam Bosman.
Supported, Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable are you back? Okay, I had a voice like but Honorable Problemo Gertrude, Maria, Johanna. Honorable Weber, Bernard, Rudolph.
The department is heading for the wrong direction, therefore no.
Let me go back to Honorable Manda Jeffrey. Are you back? Okay, they are trying him. We lost him. We will now continue to the department to vote 11. Department of Culture, Sports and Recreation. That's an amount of 577,149,000 rand be approved by the House. Honorable Member Showe Moses.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Showe Blessing Tandy.
Agreed.
Honorable Matsangu Nora.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Masuko Gillian Pudumo.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Ngomane Petros Simon.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Shabalala Cynthia Kapsile.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Jalinjali Lindiwe.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Msibimanda Jeffrey.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mlombo Fana Vincent.
Ngiyavuma, Speaker.
Honorable Masilela Makosazana Christine.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mkajwa Prince Busmozi.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Skosana James Lim.
Yes, agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Tabete Jeanette Lizzie.
Ngiyavuma, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mashilo Speedy Katishi.
Yes.
Honorable Lachminarain Mohita.
Agree, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Shophe Mpumelelo, evidence.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Makaringe Titani Million.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Seba Maxwell.
It's a yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sedibe Mikhail Palen.
Which one is this one, Speaker?
Oh, Honorable Sedibe. Honorable Sedibe. Yes or no?
It's a yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Nyembe, Nomshato Getwood.
Abstain.
Honorable Mkabela Tsako, Precious.
Yes.
Honorable Sitole, Riasecha J.
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Krobla Postman.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Progan, Honorable Weber, Venar, Ludo.
If I had to say, my division would be different.
We're now moving to vote 12, Department of Social Development. That an amount of 1,838,455,000 rand be approved by the House. Honorable Member Shongwe Vusmuz Robert, yes or no?
Agreed, the Speaker.
Honorable Shongwe Blessing Kandi.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker, sorry, it's Honorable Mkhabela here. I didn't hear the department because kukhulunywa inyama ngala kunalaba gezako asisezwa labantu ba busy ma speakers abo are on. Can you please repeat the department, Honorable Speaker?
Okay, it's vote 12, Department of Social Development.
Agreed, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Shongwe. Honorable Matangu Nora. Honorable Matangu Nora. We will come back. Honorable Mashiko Gillian Puduma.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Ngomane Petros Simon.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Manzini Saseka, sorry. Honorable Shabalala Cynthia Kapsile.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Njali Leonardindiwe.
Agreed, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Msibimanda Jeffrey.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable
Yeah, the two are my bosses from the Youth League, Charlie and Jeffrey. You'll serve in my cabinet.
Honorable.
You'll serve in my cabinet.
Honorable Sedibe, order please. Uzawugcina sokhohliwe futhi le vote ukuthi yipi. Honorable Mlombo Fana Vincent.
Ngiyavuma, Speaker.
Honorable Masilela Makosazana Christine.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mkajwa Prince Vusmozi.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Skosana James Jim.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I agree.
Honorable Tabete Jeanette Lizzie.
Yes, agreed, Speaker.
Mavuma Zong.
Honorable Mashilo Speedy Katisha.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Lachmi Narain Mohita.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Chopin Mpumelelo evidence.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Matangu Nora, are you back? Okay, they are reconnecting her. Thank you. We're now moving to Honorable Makaringe Tutani Million.
Yes, Honorable.
Honorable Lubisi Begitemba Maxwell.
It's a yes, Speaker.
Honorable Tedibe Mikhail Kolen.
For the sake of COVID-19 and food parcel for the poor, yes. Not for ANC members, Honorable MEC. I think we are noting that. For the poor.
Sibile Honorable Sedibe, Honorable Nyembe, Nomthato Gethuthi.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mkabela Ntsako Precious.
Yes.
Honorable Sitole Riasecha Jane.
Supported, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Krobla Osman.
Supported, Speaker. Supported.
Honorable Khorobe Mogen Trudy Maria Joanna.
Supported, Speaker.
Honorable Weber Bernard Ludov.
On face value, this department is well run. I say yes.
Going back to Honorable Masangu Nora. Still a challenge. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. We are now moving to vote 13, which is the Department of Human Settlement, that an amount of 1,552,489,000 rand be approved by the House. Honorable Shonge Busmuzi Robert, yes or no?
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Shonge Blessing Tandy.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Masangu Nora. They are still checking here. Yes, it's a connection.
Utiyavuma. Ungithumele message utiyavuma.
Will you please send the message? Will you please send
Asebenzi njalo funa asithumeli la akatholakale.
the message must be sent. The message must be sent to the speaker party. They are checking here. I will come back. I will move to my Honorable Mashiko Gideon Kuduma.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Ngomane Petros Simon.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Shabalala Cynthia Kapsile.
Agreed, Speaker.
Honorable Njali Leona Lindiwe.
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Msibi Manda Jeffrey.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mlombo Fana Vincent.
Ngiyavuma mhlonishwa.
Honorable Masilela Makosazana Christine.
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mkajwa Prince Busmuzi.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Skosana James Jim.
Yes, ngiyavuma nomlomo wesibethamthetho.
Honorable Tabete Jeanette Lizzie.
Ngiyavuma somlo.
Honorable Mashilo Ikatishi.
Wena la yothola khona ngifuna ukuklapha ngembama ungijwayela kabi nakholeni.
Honorable Sediba and Honorable Jeanette, please respect the House. Honorable Lakshmi Narain Mohita.
Agree, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sopheno Pumelelo, evidence.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Makaringe to 10 million.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Lubisi Begitemba Maxwell.
Usanati Castle Light. Hey, little member Leonasa. Yes, sir.
I saw him on the screen. That is why I just wait.
Castle Light. I'm telling you.
Honorable
Castle Light.
Yes. Thank you. Honorable Sedibe Mikhail Kolen.
Yes, speak. Which one is this one?
Honorable Sedibe.
Which one is this one?
Speaker,
mara-
ungacaphazwa ngulo kanjana ngulo muntu wakasedibe ni. Dlula nangaba akekho emsebenzini. Ilanga liyashisa phela manje. Lento ayidlako seyisenhloko leyo. Dlula speak.
Honorable Sedibe Mikhail Solen. Yes or no?
Please, don't worry, relax.
Honorable members, please. Please respect the house, please. I want to hear Pututin, Honorable Sedibe. Honorable Sedibe Mikhail Solen. Sakatulile, I will come back. Honorable Nyembe Nomshato Gertrude. Abstain.
Corner speaker. Human settlement, speaker. I'm here.
Yes, Utini. Yes or no?
Well, we need houses for the poor, man. It's a problem. For now, during this COVID and winter. Yes.
Thank you. Honorable Nyembe Nomshato Gertrude.
Yes.
Honorable Mukabela Nzako Precious.
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Sitole.
Must just stop corruption in the stealing of houses. ANC people stop stealing out active houses.
Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Sitole. Honorable Krobla Postman.
Supported, Speaker.
Honorable Krobe Morgan to Di Maria Johanna. Agree. Honorable Weber Venel Ludolf.
I'm not close with you, Madam Speaker, but my points of the block are different. No.
Let me go back to Honorable Matangu. Nora. Okay. Still the challenge of the network. Honorable members, now the question before the House is whether the sum of 54 billion 18,839,000 rand be appropriate for the requirements of the Mpumalanga province for the financial year 2020-2021. Are we agreed to do so?
Agreed.
And so agreed. Furthermore, do you agree to adopt the report of the Portfolio Committee on Finance Office, Finance, Economic Development and Tourism on the Mpumalanga Appropriation Bill 2020 as tabled by Honorable M. Lakshmi Narain? Agreed to?
Agreed.
And so agreed. Thank you very much. The Secretary shall read the third order of the day.
Order number 3, third reading, South Nigeria, Mpumalanga Appropriation Act 2020.
The Secretary shall read the fourth order of the day.
Order number 4, consideration of the reports of the Portfolio Committee on Previous Office, Finance, Economic Development and Tourism. 4.1, third quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Provincial Treasury. 4.2, fourth quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Provincial Treasurer. 4.3, third quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Mpumalanga Economic Regulator MER. 4.4, third quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency in CPA. 4.5, third quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Office of the Premium. 4.6, fourth quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Office of the Premier. 4.7, Third quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Economic Development and Tourism, dated 4.8, fourth quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Economic Development and Tourism, dated 4.9, fourth quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agents, MMTPA.
Thank you. I now call upon the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Premier's Office, Finance, Economic Development and Tourism, Honorable M. Lakshmi Narain, to table the report. Honorable Lakshmi Narain.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I hereby table the report on behalf of the Portfolio Committee for consideration by this Honorable House.
Thank you. I am informed that there is no debate on this report. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the report as tabled by Honorable M. Lakshmi Narain. Agree to?
Agree.
And so agreed. And so agreed. The Secretary shall read the fifth order of the day.
Order number 5, consideration of reports of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs. 5.1, third quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs. 5.2, fourth quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Agriculture, Rural Development and Land and Environmental Affairs.
Thank you very much. I now call upon the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, Honorable T.M. Makaringe, to table the report. Honorable Makaringe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I, on behalf of the Portfolio Committee of Agriculture, tabled the report for consideration by this House for adoption.
Thank you. I am informed that there is no debate on this report. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the report as tabled by Honorable T.M. Makaringe. Agree to?
Agree.
And so agreed. Thank you very much. The Secretary shall read the sixth order of the day.
Order number 6, consideration of reports of the Select Committee on Public Accounts of the 6th Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature. 6.1, Report 1 of 2019, Department of Economic Development and Tourism, 2019-20 financial year. 6.2, Report 2 of 2019, Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency, 2019-20 financial year. 6.3, Report 3 of 2019, Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport, 2019-20 financial year. 6.4, Report 4 of 2019, Office 2019-20 financial year. 6.5, Report 5 of 2019, Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, 2019-20 financial year. 6.6, Report 8 of Department of Social Development, 2019-20 financial year. 6.7, Report 9 of 2019, Department of Health, 2019-20 financial year. 6.8, Report 10 of 2019, Department of Education, 2019-20 financial year. 6.9, Report 11 of 2019, Mpumalanga Regional Training Trust, 2019-20 financial year. 6.10, Report 12 of 2019, Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, 2019-20 financial year. 6.11, Report 13 of 2019, Provincial Treasurer, 2019-20 financial year. 6.12, Report 14 of 2019, Mpumalanga Economic Regulator, 2019-20 financial year. 6.13, Report 15 of 2019, Mpumalanga Economic Growth Agency, 2019-20 financial year. 614, report 16 of 2019, Department of Community Safety and Security, 2019-20 financial year. 615, report 17 of 2019, Department of Human Settlements, 2019-20 financial year. 616, report of the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature 2019-20 financial year. 617, report of the Department of Cooperative of Culture, Sport, Recreation 2019-20 financial year.
Thank you very much. I now call upon the chairperson of the Select Committee on Public Accounts, Honorable J.J. Skhosana, to table these reports. Honorable Skhosana.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Select Committee of Public Accounts, I hereby table the report to be considered by the House and adopted as such. So move.
Thank you very much. I am informed that there is no debate on this report. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the report as tabled by Honorable J.J. Skhosana. Agreed to?
Agreed.
Agreed.
And so agreed. The Secretary shall read the seventh order of the day.
Order number 7, consideration of reports of Portfolio Committee on Education, Culture, Sport and Recreation. 7.1, third quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Education. 7.2, fourth quarterly performance report for the 2019-20 financial year, Department of Education. 7.3, third quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Mpumalanga Regional Training Trust, MRTT. 7.4, fourth quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Mpumalanga Regional Training Trust, MRTT. 7.5, third quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Culture, Sport and Recreation. 7.6, fourth quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Culture, Sport and Recreation.
Thank you. I now call upon the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Education, Culture, Sports and Recreation, Honorable Anne Hlophe, to table the report. Honorable Hlophe.
Honorable Speaker, I sent you a message that the honorable member has rushed her child to the doctor. I therefore, on behalf of the Portfolio Committee, move the report for adoption by the August House. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mlombo. I am informed that there is no debate on this report. Now the question before the House is whether
Honorable Speaker, did you find that message? Did you see that message that Honorable Mlombo is talking about?
Yes.
So it's you. It is you who were supposed to say the member has taken her child to the hospital or doctor. Therefore, Honorable Mlombo will replace him in this case. That's how it works. It can be Honorable Mlombo who say, I've sent you a message, and then I move on behalf of the Portfolio Committee. Who mandated him?
No, my apology.
Speaker,
My apology in that. Honorable Shobongwe.
I think there is an emergency because we don't know ukuthi umntwana ugula kangakanani. We understand the procedure, but we can just pardon the honorable member because mawugulelwa.
Honorable Chongwe, no. Honorable, I received the message from Honorable Mlombo, of which I agreed to do what he has done. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And he's a chief whip.
Now the question before the House is whether we agreed to adopt the report as tabled by Honorable Mlombo. Agreed to?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Not agreed, not agreed, not agreed, not agreed.
We are accepting your objection, Honorable Sedibe. Thank you very much. The Secretary shall read
because of Mlombo.
The secretary shall read the eighth order of the day.
Order number 8, consideration of the reports of the Portfolio Committee on Health and Social Development. 8.1, third quarterly performance report for 2019-2020. Department.
Rise, please.
8.2.
Rise,
No, Honorable Sedibe, no, we are at work. This is the formal meeting.
My apology, I didn't move. Sorry.
Yes, Honorable, continue, Secretary.
8.1, quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Health. 8.2, fourth quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Health. 8.3, third quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Social Development. 8.4, fourth quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Social Development.
Thank you very much. I now call upon the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Health and Social Development, Honorable J.L. Tabete, to table the report. Honorable Tabete.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I request the House to adopt the report as tabled. Thank you.
Thank you. I am informed that there is no debate on this report. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the report as tabled by Honorable J.L. Tabete. Agree to?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Not agreed unless I withdraw. Withdraw.
Agreed.
Withdraw, Honorable Tabete, before agree. Withdraw, Honorable Tabete.
Honorable Sedibe, would you please say it whether you agree or not, so that Sedibe, so that we can
withdraw it. Honorable Tabete, still do that. Same 17. Unparliamentary to promise another member in BAM. Withdraw is speaker.
Let's move, Speaker. This member is not saying anything.
This member is not saying anything. This member is not saying anything. I want to keep a matinho manje. Nobody nalo.
Honorable Sedibe, now we'll show you it's parliamentary. I've asked a question and members agreed to.
Agreed.
Oh, and so agreed. Thank
Agreed,
you.
Speaker. Agreed.
The secretary shall read.
Order number 9, consideration of the reports of the Portfolio Committee on Human Settlements, Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. 9.1, third quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, COGTA. 9.2, fourth quarterly performance report for 1920 financial year, Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. 9.3, third quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Human Settlements. 9.4, fourth quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Human Settlements.
Thank you. I now call upon the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Human Settlement, Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Honorable MC Masilela, to table the report. Honorable Masilela.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the Portfolio Committee, I would like to table the report for consideration by the House. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am informed that there is no debate on these reports. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the report as tabled by Honorable MC Masilela. Agree to?
Agreed.
Agreed, Honorable Speaker.
Agreed.
And so agreed.
Thank
you very much. The Secretary shall read the 10th order of the day.
Order number 10, consideration of reports of the Select Committee on Legislature Oversight. 10.1, third quarterly performance report of the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature 2019-20 financial year. 10.2, fourth quarterly performance report of the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature 2019-20 financial year.
Thank you. I now call upon the chairperson of the Select Committee on Legislature Oversight, Honorable F.V. Mlombo, to table the reports. Honorable Mlombo.
Honorable Speaker, I hereby table the report as presented for consideration by the House. Thank you.
Thank you. I am informed that there is no debate on this report. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the report as tabled by Honorable.
Agreed.
Yes,
Agreed.
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 And so
Ubahonele-ke Speaker manje.
Agreed, budget yakho mama.
the Secretary shall read the 11th order of the day.
Order number 11, consideration of reports of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Roads and Transport, Community Safety, Security and Liaison. 11.1, third quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison. 11.2, fourth quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison. 11.3, third quarterly performance report for 2019-20 financial year, Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport. 11.4, fourth quarterly performance report 2019-20 financial year, Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport.
Thank you. I now call upon the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Roads and Transport, Community Safety, Security and Liaison, Honorable S.K. Mashilo, to table the report. Honorable Mashilo.
Speaker, I hereby present the report as read by the Secretary of the Legislature. Thank you.
Thank you. I am informed that there is no debate on this report. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the report as tabled by Honorable S.K. Mashilo. Agreed to?
Agreed.
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 There's no need.
And so agreed. Thank you. The Secretary shall read the 12th order of the day.
Order number 12, consideration of the reports of the Select Committee on Women, Youth, Children and People with Disabilities, public participation in members' legislative proposals. 12.1, report on oversight visit conducted to Komasi local municipality on 12 and 13 February 2020. 12.2, report on Parliament for People with Disabilities held on the 21 to 22 November 2019 in the Legislature Chambers, City of Mbombela.
Thank you. I now call upon the chairperson of the Select Committee on the Select Committee on Women, Youth, Children and People with Disabilities, Public Participation and Members' Legislative Proposal, Honorable B.M. Lubisi, to table the reports. I will check with Honorable Lubisi because on the screen it seems as if he is connected back again, but I've also received a note that he is having that connection challenge. I will first check with him, then if he still have that challenge, I will give to Honorable Mlombo as indicated here. Honorable Lubisi, are you back? It seems as if there is a challenge in terms of a connection. Honorable Mlombo, will you please table that report?
Honorable Speaker, I hereby table the report on behalf of the Select Committee for adoption by the House.
Thank you. I am informed that there is no debate on this report. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the report as tabled by Honorable F.V. Mlombo. Agreed to?
Yes.
Agreed. Agreed.
And so agreed. Thank you, honorable members. That brings us to the end of today's business. The House is adjourned until Tuesday, the 14th of July, 2020 at 10 o'clock via Microsoft Teams platform. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye, Robert Chongwe.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye, Robert
Thank you,
Chongwe.
Speaker.
Long live
Robert
Honorable
Trump.
Okay, Jeffrey.
Robert
So,
Trump.
Jeffrey.